everyone, welcome back to Kristine Szabo Raw, episode 18. We're here by popular demand in my kitchen for homemade almond milk. And I'm so excited to share this recipe with you guys because this is a recipe that I created. I believe nobody else out there does this particular recipe because it was created by the love that I have for Matthew and what his needs were at the time that he was a baby, and it's followed us all the way to now. He's 8 years old. He drinks a glass every day with supplements inside. I drink it every morning in my matcha latte, and it's like irresistible. Trust me, anybody that comes here and gets this latte made with this homemade almond milk is like, oh my gosh, you were right. This is incredible. So here we are. So first, I'm going to go through the ingredients that you're going to need to get for this. The first thing you're going to need is a nut milk bag, okay? And all of this is going to be in the description below. I will put the links so you can just click on the links and it'll go to Amazon or directly to the vendor, wherever. I don't make money off of it. I'm just here to give you directly the tools that I have so that I can live a life full of vitality, health, optimism, wellness, paying it forward, and getting over and overcoming everything challenging from mental illness, suicide, ideation, traumas, abuses, and live the best life possible. And I do it because I have these things in my life. Every single thing that I'm sharing with you in this channel is to create a life of wellness, to create a life of recovery, to create a life going through the traumas and not letting the traumas come to you. So here we are. Nut milk bag number one. You're gonna need a jar. Now this jar in particular is 4 cups, okay, total. So whatever dosage of cups your jar is, whether it's 4 cups or 8 cups or a gallon or a pint or 2 cups, you're gonna be putting half almonds in it. So I do 2 cups of raw almonds, organic, and 4 cups in a 4 cups water. Okay, so you're gonna see, I'm gonna explain a little better coming up. The next thing you're gonna need is organic almonds, unsalted, unroasted, just good old organic almonds. And this comes from Costco, and happy birthday to you out there who actually, one of our awesome subscribers has a birthday on the same day that Costco is opening up in her neighborhood. And I told her that is so cool because that is like the best birthday gift or rebirth birthday gift that I've heard of. That's like super universal cool. So happy birthday. And coming up, and then you're gonna need pitted dates. Now, my favorite kind of dates to use are these, and I get both of these at Costco, depending which one the Costco's selling that day that I go. These are the organic medjool dates. These are incredible. These are my favorite, #1 preferred. They come with the seed in it. The pit is inside, so we're gonna have to de-pit them. You'll see. Or if you wanna be a little bit like, you know, not do so much work in the pitting, you can get already pitted organic dates. But the flavor of these is not the same as the flavor of these. So just recognize that whatever dates you get, you're not gonna have the same flavor. I prefer the richness and sweetness of these over these, but whichever you can get, whichever you can decide to get is all the same. There's also farmers market dates, or you know, supermarkets sell organic dates too. And make sure with these dried dates that you get organic. And one of the reasons why it's so important, especially with things like dried fruit, raisins and dates, dried figs and mangoes, that you get them organic is because when pesticides are sprayed on a fruit, okay, in the process of drying, you're getting that much more pesticide on the fruit as it's dried. Does that make sense? So it's like you're getting like a condensed pesticide boost. I don't know if I'm really speaking the right lingo, but I think you guys understand what I mean. Okay, so just try to get organic. Please do your best. Better to get it than not get it. So whatever we can do. All right, and the next thing you're gonna need is a great blender. All right, you're gonna need this. I use a Vitamix because it can pulverize those almonds incredibly well. Now, you don't need this, but if you have it and you wanna use it in this 3-step process almond milk making, this can be eliminated. This second step to making your almond milk can be eliminated, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. But I use a Horum juicer. I know that Breville also makes a really great, it's like a very slow cyclical juicer. This is great for all types of juicing, greens, fruits, vegetables. I actually use it for my almond milk as my second step because I found that when I squeeze my almonds through the nut milk bag, I found that putting it through this juicer really helped make less pulp waste at the end. Okay, what am I missing? Oh, raw coconut water. I use the Harmless Harvest organic coconut water. I use 1 bottle per this batch. So I know Costco sells this. You can get this pretty much anywhere. I recommend you try to stick with this brand because the flavors of coconut waters, depending where the coconuts come from, whether it's the Thailand or Philippines or South America or Mexico, it's all very different, right? So don't try one coconut water and say, I don't like it. Try this one and I think you're gonna love it. So Harmless Harvest coconut water. Of course, you don't need to put the coconut water in there for the almond milk. That's just my secret personal recipe. Not a secret anymore, clearly. Okay, and then the last 2 things that you're gonna need, I'm gonna throw in a third thing at the end of this, but we'll talk about that later. Organic vanilla. I'm sure you bakers out there have this. And liquid vitamin C. Okay, this is a Child Life, a children's naturally orange flavor liquid vitamin C. And the reason why I started to put this vitamin C and then realized that we weren't getting colds anymore and we weren't getting sick is because vitamin C is a natural preservative. So I actually started to do double batches, even triple batches. And I noticed that after the second day, the almond milk started to turn a little bit darker and separating more. If I put this vitamin C in there, it doesn't do that. It stays fresh, and even fresh up to almost a week. So it's pretty, I don't even know if it would go that long because we drink it, but it stays perfect like day 1 using this children's liquid vitamin C. So I really recommend you get a liquid vitamin C, preferably this children's one. I'll put this in the link and we'll see, okay? So, and then you're gonna need, of course, no brainer, jars to put your milk in, duh, or you can reuse, actually, you can use a funnel and put it back in here. You can also put it back in here, okay? So let's get started. All right, so I have my jar. This is a 4 cups jar, and I'm gonna put, I'm going to use the medial dates for this one. Oh, this is closed. Hold on, let me open this. So you're just going to take the pit out, and then you're also going to want to be aware that on some of these, there's also a little head. All right, and I use 7 of these medial dates per this batch. Now, if you're using the already pitted dates, please use a little bit more. I usually use about 10 to 11 of the smaller pitted dates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our number 5. 6 and 2 more. Oh, 1 more. 7. Okay, so now I've got my dates. And now I'm going to fill this up with water. And I use my filtered water. If you guys want to use alkaline water or whatever you do, you want to fill this up with a really high quality, clean water. And then you're going to put it into your refrigerator, and you're going to let this soak up to 8 hours. Okay, soak this like this in your fridge 8 hours or longer. So what I do is I make it the night before, and then I put it in the fridge. And this is what it looks like. Okay? So I already soaked this last night. So now I'm going to pour this in here. Now, almond milk is incredible because it still has the protein that regular milk has. Yes, it has a little less protein, but honestly, in today's world, we are eating more protein in the animal products than our body really needs. Please, if you can start to just slow down on the animal eating and start to bringing your life into more of a vegetarian and vegan diet, you're gonna feel a lot better. Your body's gonna feel a lot better. Your mind is gonna be a lot clearer and healthier. So once I put that in there, I add the bottle of Harmless Harvest coconut water, and then I fill this up with water, this bottle. I'm gonna fill this bottle again with your purified or your alkaline water, your clean water that we talked about, which I hope you guys have been focused. I know somebody out there started drinking alkaline water. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. That's really, really commendable. Just taking the action. Like, the whole thing about it, guys, is taking the action and just doing it. You know, you can say, oh, well, one day or soon I'm going to, or this or that. No, do it. Just do it already. Like, because your life is not going to be here forever. And you got to do it now. We want to change our lives now so that we can be better now. Because every single day that you take action, you're better. By the way, can you hear my dogs drinking? I think they heard me. All right, so now I'm gonna blend this. I think I had a little pit in there. I was talking, I probably missed a pit, but that's okay because the Vitamix can handle that. So we're gonna blend that. And now this is where you can choose. If you are not going to be putting your milk through a juicer, I want you to blend this a lot longer than I just did. I want you, especially if you have this Vitamix, use this high and you can pulverize it, okay? And then you don't need to do this step, but because I really love this step, is that you can see what happens here is you've got the milk coming out on one side and the pulp coming out on the other side. Now, people have asked me, what do you do with the pulp, right? So I've done really cool things with the pulp. I'll mix the pulp with a little bit of like, almond flour or gluten-free flour, some agave, some raisins that we have at home, and maybe like some coconut oil, whatever I have. I just do a bunch of experiments, dried cranberries, and I will put it in a baking sheet, flatten it out in a pan after I like mix it up all messy. And then I will put it in the freezer after I cut them into little pieces, put them in the freezer, and I would have, or roll them into little balls and have like raw cookies. Now, I don't do that anymore, and the reason why is my background is I'm a cookie monster. So I have a tendency in my past to binge on carby cookie-like things. And so I was noticing that I was making these raw almond pulp cookies, and I would be like continually going into the freezer and just eating them and eating them and eating them. And I was like, you know what? This is so tempting for me. I don't need to be doing this right now. So then I started to do other things with the almond pulp, like putting it on some oatmeal, or I tried putting it out to the birds, but unfortunately because of the dates and it's sweet, the ants would come, so I don't recommend anybody doing that. But I know that you can Google recipes with almond pulp, and you're gonna come up with a lot of incredible recipes. I even, during the pandemic, I know there was like, I'm sure a lot of you joined in on us, this banana bread hype. So I used, instead of having all flour in the banana bread recipes, I was putting the almond pulp for the other half, and it was actually really delicious and moist. So you can use this almond pulp for a lot of really, really good things. Okay? Now, so you're gonna wanna have a couple of these things to catch the milk. And when you get to the bottom of your blender, make sure you put some water in there and you rinse it. And then you can put the water here as a last water. Depending on how thick or how thin you want your almond milk, you can always add more water or coconut water. You know, I think mine is a perfect medium consistency on the rich flavor, but you can check it out. Okay, so now while this is still going, you're gonna take your nut milk bag, and like I said, you can do this step after the blender. You don't have to do the juicer in between. And you're probably thinking like, why is she even putting it through a nut milk bag? That looks pretty milky. Well, you're gonna see how much pulp comes out of here. So, let's see. I like this particular jar. I'm gonna use this pitcher so that you can see what comes out of here. Now you're going to want to make sure that you're holding this tight so it doesn't slip when the milk goes through. Okay, you're going to squeeze this very gently. Now you don't need to be like crushing this bag, right? These bags can break. Another thing, these bags can be washed. You can hand wash them with a little dish soap, or once in a while I just throw them in the laundry to give a really good wash, and then I rinse it again after. So can be used for a really long time. So when you order your nut milk bags, don't go crazy and think you have to order one per usage. You can order like 2 for the year. And then depending on how much you're juicing as well. All right, so you see how this beautiful milk is coming out of here? Now the benefits of having also low lactose in your diet. So lactose caused from regular milk is really, really heavy on inflammatory in the body and in the bowels. A lot of people are lactose intolerant, and so they get like irritable bowel syndrome or colitis, a lot of mucus. I'm really big into colon cleansing, and if I'm eating too much dairy, like cow lactose, you can actually see mucus coming out of your body. I know that's kind of gross, but so you really want to make sure. Also, my integrative doctor, Dr. Soren Kalsa, who I mentioned in one of the last episodes and even put his link, he had explained to me that women who are in menopause, dairy in particular is really hard on the body, and so he recommended that to eat a nil, if very low level of lactose in your diet, dairy in your diet. So that comes from Dr. Kalsa, that comes from me to you guys. So just try to be mindful of that, and if you do have to eat dairy, try to stick to sheep dairy, goat dairy. Of course, I love ice cream. I'll do like a high quality ice cream once in a while, but definitely stick to the 80%, 20% diet. Okay? So I'm gonna show you, I normally do it in a larger jar, but I really wanted to show you this that comes out. Let's see. And of course, I normally do this over my sink. All right, so you're gonna see how much pulp. Oh, I can turn this off now. Sorry if it was hard to hear me over that machine. So you're gonna see, look, there's really not a lot of pulp that's coming out of here. And I could squeeze this more if I wanted to, but I don't want to waste your time. I also can juice this as well, milk this. So you would really have about to here, but I don't want to take up too much time in this video. I want to keep going forward. So now that I have my jars, you can do many individual jars, or you can do one big jar. So this one supplement that I apologize, I forgot to talk about in our supplements section, but it is fundamental that every one of you out there, if you don't already, get a vitamin D3 supplement. Please, this is called the Sunshine Supplement. And it not only increases wellness for your body, your bone health, but it's also your mind health. It increases good mood. It increases immunity, they're saying, even fighting COVID. And so I know in this crazy time right now, there's a lot of mysteries around how do we deter getting COVID. Well, one study has been that having vitamin D3 supplement is a really good preventative medicine for you in a natural way. So I take this every single day. Matthew takes this every single day. It also helps with weight loss, in case I didn't tell you that. There have been studies. And Dr. Kalsa, my integrative doctor, wrote a book about the importance of vitamin D. And so this is really important, especially if those of you who wear sunscreen every day, or maybe live in a place where there's not a lot of sun, like in Seattle, or maybe where there's in the Northeast where you have winters, make sure you're taking this vitamin D supplement every day, okay? And so you can put it directly into this milk. What I do is I just dose it out like this, or I put a squirt in Matthew's cup. However you're doing it, just get this, please. It comes in liquid form for children. It comes in capsule form for adults, liquid form. I love the liquid soluble one, and I found that taking this children's D3 supplement has kept my D levels perfect. So I actually love this one, and I'll put this link in the description below, okay? So that was my surprise addition to the almond milk, because it's not really a part of this recipe, but it's really something I wanted to throw in here. And I'm gonna talk about it again when we talk about more supplements for the body, okay? So now, here we go. Look how much this makes, you guys. I know it didn't look like a lot there, but this is a lot. With this and this, I'm gonna fill up probably another bottle and a half. And think about it, normally I make a double batch, but for today I just wanted to make this. So I'm gonna strain that in a little bit and fill it up in here, and there we go. So there's our almond milk, guys. I hope you love it. I hope you try it. You know, I know that there's a mother out there in New York, a friend of mine, and one day I went over to her house and I taught her how to make this recipe. And then like a couple of months ago, I saw that she had posted on Instagram her and her kids making almond milk together. So I was really grateful and proud to pay this knowledge forward, because not having lactose for cow's milk for our children is really helping them, and it's helping us, right? So I love you guys. Mwah. For you grandparents out there, how about instead of bringing candy for the kids, how about bringing some homemade almond milk, or instead of a cake? I bet that's gonna go down really, really great. All right, so I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you and transforming your life and the lives around you.